What's up, Ranger Nation, Toku Nation, and every nation in between? It is your boy, JB, coming to you today with the review for Kishiryu Sentai, Ryusoulger. This is episode number 12, I think. This is 12, right, you guys? It'll be correct in the description below. The episode was titled A Scorching Illusion. So without further ado, you guys, we are going to jump right into this week's episode review. All right, so we start this week's episode. So we see Asuna, we see Melt, and we see Ko, and we see Yui, and they're talking about Dime. His name is Dime, not Dime. Dime Volcano, and they're just talking about how they're actually very, very smitten with Dime. And we see Tiramigo. So Tiramigo, he's actually biting Melt on the leg, and Mel's like, something's hurting, and he looks down and he's like, Tiramigo, you're biting me. And we find out that Tiramigo is a little bit in his feelings, and the reason why Tiramigo is in his feelings is because everybody is oohing and on over Dime, but nobody's doing that to him. And Ko is like, Tiramigo, you know what's up, like you my dude, like what you tripping off of, you my favorite, like this is just like a new dog that we got. We gotta show him some love as well. But you my dude, like you number one in my book. And so then Melt is like, he wonders who is it that freed Dime, which is a good question. Who freed Dime? We find out in this episode. Just stay tuned and we'll discuss that. So then we see Weisel. So Weisel, he is talking to Creon, and he's talking about this planet he has for Dime. So basically what it is Weisel wants to enslave Dime to do what he wants him to do. So then we see Towa and we see Bamba, and Towa and Bamba show up, and they battling with Weisel, and Weisel tells Creon, like, what, you and the Minosaur, y'all need to get out of here. Like, go hide, go do whatever you gotta do, but y'all gotta get out of here because that is a part of my master plan that he has. So I'm like, okay, what is Weisel's plan to enslave Dime Volcano? So we will find out sooner or later. All right, so then we see a scene where we got Melt, Towa, and Bamba. So they are trying to find who birthed the Minosaur. So Towa is asking, like, he's like, so where is Ko and Asuna at? And Melt tells him, oh, they're with Tiramigo, because Tiramigo, he's just having a rough time right now because everybody is oohing and on over Dime Volcano. So they're just trying to lift up Tiramigo's spirits at this point. And they also talking about if they can find the Minosaur, they can find the person who birthed him. They can find the weakness of the Minosaur. And so Bamba is also like, when it comes down to Ko needs to be more assertive when it comes to Tiramigo, but he's like, what, he unfortunately is not going to do that because that is not his personality. And Melt's like, yeah, you've kind of figured him out. He's like, yep, unfortunately, I figured him out that he's a bit of a weakling. And I wouldn't necessarily say that he's a weakling. I think what it is that Ko has a big heart, and Ko wants to see the good in a lot of things. And he also called him naive, and I just don't think that I don't think it's that he's naive. I just think that like I said, his heart is really big, and he just wants to see the good in everything. He doesn't want to see the negative, which I guess that could be a little bit of being naive, but if that's what Bamba feels, that's what he feels. So then we see this guy. He is training at the fire academy, and he's trying to run an obstacle, and he's not doing that well of a job because he keeps collapsing. And then the I don't know if that would be the lieutenant or the sergeant or the whatever he is, but he was just telling him, like, you got to finish this, like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But you can clearly visibly look at the man's face, and his face was flushed, and I'm like, you don't see that this man's face is flushed and he doesn't have it in him to do what you're saying, dude? Like, come on, like, look at this man's face. So Toa, Bamba, and Melt, they find the man, and we see that the Minosaur is draining his energy, and they're like, well, this is where the Minosaur came from. So then they figured it out that they wanted the Minosaur to be able to withstand Dime Volcano's flames. So Asuna calls Melt and tells him that the Minosaur has grown gigantic in the city. So then we see Asuna, Melt, and Ko. They are in the city and they transform. And before they can even call on Tiramigo and Triken and Ankylrose, Tiramigo just shows up out of nowhere, and Ko's like, Tiramigo, I didn't even call on you, so what are you doing here? And so that's when Melt and Asuna called on their Dino Knights to show up. But when they showed up, they fell into a trap by the Minosaur. Okay, so we found out what the plan is from Ryusoulger wants. Ryusoulger and Creon want for Ko to call on Dime Volcano, which Ko does call on Dime. So what happens when Ko called on Dime, they set a trap for him. So the Minosaur, he has this fog. You guys remember the fog from last week. So the fog is, it created an illusion. And an illusion was a pretty lady, aka Dino Knight, that was attractive to Dime. So like I said, Dime fell for that trap. Yep, Dime fell for that trap. All right, so we see Bamba and Toa. They take Sheena, I think that was his name, back to Yui's house, and Yui was like, "Wait a minute, I know him." She's like, "He was a underclassman to me when I was in school." And she's like, "Where'd you guys find him at?" And he was like, "They were like, we found him at the fire academy." She said, "The fire academy? That's not like him." She said, "He wanted to be a movie director." And they were like, "A movie director?" She's like, "Yeah, his dad is the one that's a fireman, but that's not his dream. Like, his dream was to become a movie director." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So what is the Minosaur's weakness? If it's not the whatever, we're gonna move on." I didn't mean to say whatever. So then we back to the fight with the Minosaur. So Dime does not want to attack it because he says it's a pretty lady, and so Ryusoulger tells him in order for him to get to know the pretty lady, he has to basically join their side. So then we see Bamba and Toa. They show up, and they tell the others that the guy that the Minosaur was birthed from, he actually hates fire, and he wants to be a film director. So then we see Ryusoulger. So Ryusoulger is still he's like, "I'm not giving up," and we see how strong that Minosaur is, and then we see Ko. Ko goes and tells Tiramigo he wants him to combine with Dime. So then we do see as Dime and Tiramigo, they do combine with one another. So when they combine, my bad, y'all. Ko is in the cockpit. So this is where Ko is like, "Okay, I got this." So then the Minosaur starts making illusions. The first illusion he made was Yui. So Ko tries to hit it, but he wasn't able to hit it because although he knows in his head that wasn't her, I guess inside of his heart he was like, could he be hurting her? So then it turns into Asuna, and then once it turned to Asuna, he still really couldn't battle it, and then finally it turns into Melt. When it turned into Melt, that is when he was able to finally just hit it, and be like, he was able to hit it. And I think at that point the reason why he was able to hit it because it had transformed from three different people. It had went from Yui to Asuna to Melt. So I think that's at that point he was like, "You know what? Enough's enough. Like, you just trying to play mind games with me, and I'm tired of your mind games at this point." So then we see Bamba. Bamba has an idea that since the Minosaur is using steam, why don't they use something to help them be able to defeat the Minosaur? So then, they use the fire and they heat it up, which ultimately does allow for Ko to defeat the Venusaur. So then we see the cadet. Oh God, this is probably gonna be a short review. I didn't really want it to be short. So then we see the cadet, and he's with Yui. He wakes up, and basically Yui in a nutshell told him, like, I know that you wanted to do film. You need to go out there and pursue what makes you happy. Don't worry about your dad. Do what makes you happy. And if however the Fire Academy is something that makes you happy, do that. But I know that's not what makes you happy. You need to be able to do what makes you happy, and that is being a film director. And then, Yui's dad shows him. He's like, who is this? And I'm like, okay, her dad is doing the most. You really think that that's her boyfriend? And you know what's going on with the Ryusoulgers, that anytime they pretty much bring somebody there, that was a Venusaur, but you think that that's her boyfriend. Okay, if you say so. If you say so. So then the others, they are like wondering, like, again, we're still on the question of how did Dime come to be? Like, who released him? Like, and then Ko is like, there must be another Ryusoulger, which we know that there is another Ryusoulger. Oh my God, he's gonna be here in 2 weeks. We're gonna see Ryusoul Gold in 2 weeks, because it's episode 14 and next week is episode 13. So we got 2 weeks until we meet Ryusoul Gold. So I guess that's why we're starting. I guess that's why we're bringing up, Ryusoul, the Gold Ryusoulger, because he's gonna be here in, like I said, 2 weeks. Are you guys ready? Are you guys excited? I know I am. All right, and then lastly, you guys, which this is gonna be just a brief walkthrough. So we see Waizel and we see Creon. So they're together. And once again, Waizel, he's all about this whole, showtime. He's like he's kind of like theatrical. He likes to put on a show. So we're still talking about, like, who freed Dime. So even Waizel and Creon are trying to figure out who freed Dime. Well, we found out who freed him, and it was Geysorg. Geysorg showed up, and I did not watch Super Sentai Strongest Battle. I'm actually probably gonna go back at some point this weekend and watch Super Sentai Strongest Battle, because I started it, but I didn't finish it. So I'll go back this weekend and watch Super Sentai Strongest Battle. But you guys, that was pretty much the episode. Like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.